Well, he may not have starred in the movie Wedding Crashers, but Tom Hanks added a little star power to one couple's wedding in Santa Monica.
My stock just exploded. Can we have a picture?
Yes. Tasha and December, they had just said their I do's. They were posing for pictures with their son when, of course, the Oscar-winning Wedding Crasher just walked up to say hello.
And we're gathering all the family together, and next thing you know, Tom Hanks walked through the whole crowd and said, "Hey, I just had to stop and see these beautiful brides." He asked for a picture. He said it was one of the most beautiful ceremonies that he's witnessed, and he stuck around for about 5 minutes and gave us a good positive talk, and he was very cool.
Hey, he's one to speak because he has a wonderful marriage that's lasted and stood the test of time in Hollywood, so I would take his advice. So back in 2016, Hanks joined a couple's wedding for a photo shoot in Central Park, and he says at that time he was just out for a jog when he decided he wanted to congratulate the couple. So you never know, folks, you never know. He loves Northeast Ohio. He could just crash your wedding here, too. That's going to do it for us here on Fox 8 News at 5 o'clock. Thanks so much for joining us. Fox 8 News at 6 is next.
Thank you, Natalie. Now at 6, a piece of hair, a curtain, and new DNA. The new leads investigators hope will crack the Amy Mihaljevic murder case.
The water keeps on rising and rising. So it went to the floorboards and came up about 4 or 5 inches.
Stranded on the shoreway, the water main break that forced drivers to be rescued from their cars.
In a dangerous encounter, see what happens when police confront some dirt bike drivers in Cleveland.
Northeast Ohio's #1 choice for news. Cleveland's own Fox 8 News starts now.
The Fox 8 I-Team now tracking new clues in one of Northeast Ohio's greatest unsolved mysteries, the murder of Amy Mihaljevic.
Tomorrow marks 32 years since Amy disappeared from Bay Village. We recently revealed new leads in the case. I-Team reporter Peggy Gallick joins us live to show us another step toward cracking this case. Peggy.
That's right. Investigators tell us thanks to advancements with DNA testing, old evidence is providing new clues, and they are hoping one item may hold the information that will lead them to the person who killed Amy Mihaljevic.
They were found 300 yards away from her body. Through the 32 years, we weren't positive what the relevance was of those two pieces of evidence because they were so far away from her body.
This green curtain and white blanket were found in Ashland County near the body of 10-year-old Amy Mihaljevic more than 30 years ago. Two pieces of evidence investigators say may help solve the 32-year-old murder case. In 2016, detectives discovered that hair from Amy's dog was found on the curtain. A few weeks ago, detectives say they learned more.
Amy's hair was found on that curtain. So we know for a fact that her hair was on that curtain.
Now they are hoping to find someone that may remember that curtain that detectives believe was homemade.
It looks more like some type of a quilt that was made into a curtain.
Amy went missing on October 27, 1989, after she met an unknown man after school in a shopping plaza in Bay Village. She had told others she was meeting a man who she thought was going to help her pick out a gift for her mother. She was never seen alive again.
We're not going to give up. We're not going to give up.
While no arrests have been made, police say they do have a number of possible suspects.
We are currently looking at people as suspects. We do a lot of investigation into this case for a 32-year-old case. We have people that we're consistently looking at as far as suspects.
And they are hoping this curtain contains some more crucial evidence that they will soon find thanks to the latest DNA advancements.
If it leads us to one of the people that we're already looking at as a suspect, that would be a home run.
Detectives say they are continuing to investigate leads that they receive on this case, and there is a reward of up to $50,000 available for information that leads to the arrest and prosecution of the person who killed Amy. And Amy's father says he believes investigators will solve this case.
I've always had that in my heart that it's going to be resolved. It was some sort of girl, extremely intelligent. She probably, her thing was, I want to be Vice President of the United States.
And in Amy's honor, a 1-mile honor walk will take place in Bay Village tomorrow, which is the 32nd anniversary of her abduction. To learn more about the walk or how to contact detectives with tips on this case, please go to our website, fox8.com.
So much promise, a life that didn't get to fully be lived, but, Peggy, your story just proves technology is something else. Hopefully they find more.
Exactly, and they're not going to stop, so they're continuing to look and send any evidence they can to the labs to see what they can find out.
All right, Peggy Gallick live for us. Peggy, thank you. Well, a broken water main floods out the highway, stranding 2 cars and leaving traffic on I-90 tied up for hours. Water gushing out of the ground, covering South Marginal Road and flooding the freeway. Traffic is moving again now, but the damage is already done. Fox 8's Alex Stokes. She's there. She has more on the story. Alex.
Yeah, Joe, I-90 is back open. That evening commute is running smoothly, but for nearly 3.5 hours today, traffic was bottlenecked, particularly on the eastbound side of the highway. Here at South Marginal, it is also still closed. There's cones and road closed signs up as they work to just kind of clean everything up. They were working with trucks a little earlier, about an hour ago, on that water main break. Thankfully, the people who were trapped in their cars in the water, we've heard there have been no injuries from, regarding them, but this was still a less than ideal situation.
Gushing water from a water main break, creating a traffic mess on I-90 during Tuesday's midday commute. Skyfox showing just how far the water spread, flooding the roads, the area around Cube Smart Self-Storage, and 2 cars that couldn't make it out.
It wasn't that deep, and then it got deeper and deeper.
Chuck Foyer's car began taking on water at the East 55th Street exit ramp.
I am taking the shoreway. It's 11:30, and I saw a little puddle. Try to get off at the exit. Car stalls, then the water keeps on rising and rising until it went through the floorboards and came up about 4 or 5 inches.
Skyfox shows the moment he was rescued and taken to dry land.
The police officer came and took me out and walked me up here.
He says he took the ramp after seeing others drive up it.
Yeah, there were other people going ahead of it, yeah.
Traffic was severely restricted for hours as the water shut down not only 3 lanes of I-90 eastbound, but also seeped onto the westbound lanes.
In addition to the highway lane, South Marginal was closed from East 49th to East 55th Street.
That's where another car was trapped and where Cleveland Water says the 12-inch main broke. Around 1:30 p.m., they tweeted, quote, "Crews have operated valves to stop the flow of water. Flooding is subsiding, and once clear, repairs to the main can begin."
And Cleveland Water told me no customers in the area were impacted by the shutoff as they were able to isolate the break area. They also said that a, quote, significant investment in this section of their distribution service is in design, and work will begin on that in 2022.
And Alex, you mentioned it in the piece there, but it's right next to all those storage units as well, where a lot of people's stuff are hanging out.
Yep, definitely not a sight you wanted to see if you know that your stuff is housed there. We did actually reach out to the storage company to see, what actions people would take next and what kind of waterproofing they have in that area. We've not heard back yet, but hopefully, there wasn't too much damage, if any, done to people's things there. Also, just to note, Cleveland Police, of course, reminding people, do not drive into standing water.
Turn around and go the other way. Alex, live for us. Thank you.
We've got some breaking news. After a day-long debate, an FDA advisory panel voted to expand COVID vaccines to kids as young as 5. The group gave the green light to Pfizer's child doses, and now there's just one final approval needed from the CDC, meaning kids could be rolling up their sleeves as early as this week.
Far from being spared from this harm of COVID-19, in the 5 to 11-year-old age range, there have been over 1.9 million infections, over 8,300 hospitalizations, about a third of which have required intensive care unit stays.
Data shows the Pfizer shots are more than 91% effective in clinical trials. The feds say they're ready to ship millions of doses to schools, doctors' offices, and pharmacies. Today, Ohio's COVID case count was up from yesterday with 3,800 new cases. That's still below the 21-day average. Hospitalizations are also up with 283 admitted in the past 24 hours. The state also added 209 deaths, bringing the overall death toll over the 24,000 mark.
He set 2 fires that killed 7 people, including 5 children. Now an Akron man will spend the rest of his life in prison. Fox 8's Dave Nethers was in court when the man was sentenced, and it was just announced. He joins us live. Hey, Dave.
Yeah, so we are in Akron, where these crimes actually shook this community to its foundation. The victims as young as 16 months old in two separate fires, and Stanley Ford, a defiant Stanley Ford, barely escaping the death penalty. It remains Akron's deadliest mass murder. 4 years after fire was set to this home on Fultz Avenue in Akron, killing Dennis Huggins, Angela Boggs, and their 5 children. Stanley Ford is led into a Summit County courtroom to account for the crime.
All right, Mr. Rapinski, would you call the case, please?
Ford found guilty last month of multiple counts of aggravated murder for setting the 2017 fire and a 2016 fire at another neighbor's home, killing Lindell Lewis and Gloria Hart.
Were they perfect? No. Did they deserve to die? No.
Family members of the victims addressing the court at his sentencing.
You messed with some of God's chosen people, and the Lord did not see fit to let you live among society.
This tragedy transcended 5 generations of our family.
Ford himself choosing not to make a statement or remaining adamant through his attorneys that he is innocent.
I've lived with this case for 4.5 years, and I still struggle.
An emotional Judge Christine Croce addressing him directly.
You chose to seek revenge and not live by the Bible.
I disagree with that, Your Honor.
You had an opportunity to talk, you're done. It's my turn.
Croce focused on the young lives that were taken and the composure of the family members in court.
And to watch that video and to watch you enter that house, knowing that the first one you set killed 2 people, and knowing that you were setting the second one, that there were 7 people in that house.
Judge sentencing Ford to 9 consecutive life sentences.
No single prison term for any offense committed as part of the course of conduct adequately reflects the seriousness of the conduct.
The victim's family afterwards remaining remarkably composed and forgiving.
Bad things happen to good people. That's life. That's just how it is. And unfortunately, we were on the other side of that coin, but we still have to move forward.
Wow. Prosecutors today made it clear in court that 11 of the 12 trial jurors wanted the death penalty in this case. Judge Croce, in addition to the 9 consecutive life sentences, also added this. He is going to have to spend 6 days each year in isolation. 2 of those days, the dates of the fire. The remaining 4 of those dates, the birthdays of the youngest victims.
And just incredible composure from the family there, Dave, after everything that they've been through.
Unbelievable. Yeah, breathtaking. Yes.
All right, Dave Nethers live for us. Dave, thank you.
Police in Medina County are warning parents about a man who had been prowling around neighborhoods in his car and acting suspiciously around kids. Jack Shea joins us live from the Hinckley Township Police Department with the story.
Good evening, Jasmine. Police say it is a very strange case. They actually know the man that was showing up in these neighborhoods, but at this point they have been unable to charge him with a crime. Monday night, witnesses report a suspicious car slowly driving through a neighborhood in Medina County's Granger Township as children play outside their homes. The car, described as a black Dodge Challenger with a silver gas cap and damage to the driver's side back bumper, has been on the radar of law enforcement agencies in Medina County for the past 6 months because of the odd behavior of the man behind the wheel. Witnesses have reported that at various times the prowler in the black Challenger had no shirt on and was attempting to take photos of children as he passed through their neighborhoods.
We know some friends on State Road that it's a few months back it happened to their daughter. So it's not something that just happened. This has been going on.
Fear about the man's motives have prompted some families to come up with a plan of action for their kids.
We already forewarned them earlier today that if by chance they're in the neighborhood and they're aware of the car, that they are to go to the nearest home.
It turns out police have identified the suspect in the Challenger and have questioned him several times, but he denied any wrongdoing and was let go because he had not committed an obvious crime.
And if they know who he is, they should have something on him. Get the job done.
Of major concern to law enforcement here in Medina County, the suspect has a pending criminal case in which he is accused of exposing himself at a grocery store. Police are asking parents to be vigilant record any unusual activity involving the black Challenger, and to call 911.
Listen to your kids, because they'll tell you. If somebody's coming for them or looking at them, they'll tell you.
And police are now stepping up their patrols in those neighborhoods in the rural areas of Medina County. But again, they need the families out there to be their eyes and ears.
You know, this is incredibly unfortunate. Obviously, Halloween weekend is coming up. Kids are looking forward to just having some fun, but I guess it's a good reminder to just be aware of your surroundings.
You know, with Halloween coming up, a lot of parents today were telling us they are going to be walking with their kids, and they are asking other parents to do the same, Jasmine.
Have to. Thanks, Jack. Well, look at this. Video released to the Fox 8 I-Team shows a man riding an ATV busted for trying to run down a police officer.
Time and again, we've showed you packs of riders on dirt bikes and ATVs taking over the streets. Now this. I-Team reporter Ed Gallick live in the studio to show us more. Hey, Ed.
Look out. Police say they tried to pull over a couple of guys riding ATVs wildly in the streets. This video shows they kept it up even after the traffic stop. Police rolling up and watch the middle of your screen. Look out for the man riding an ATV. Cleveland police body camera video just released to the I-Team. Police say they tried to stop riders on 2 ATVs, and one guy almost ran over an officer.
Please, please, please. Please don't hurt me, please, please, please. Oh no, I'm not.
Are you done playing games then?
Yes, yes.
You're done?
I have nothing on. Wait on that.
Here, police arrested 2 men they say had been riding their ATVs on the west side, ignoring red lights, driving recklessly, doing the same things we've shown you happening a lot when packs of riders on dirt bikes and ATVs take over the streets. The same things leaving so many of you furious. Cleveland police patrol officers have orders to not chase the bikes. These guys busted by members of a gang task force.
I'm so sorry. Wait. No, you're not. We don't got it right in the man's side. That's fine.
Charges now filed against both ATV riders in that video. One man hit with a charge of felony assault for trying to run over the officer. Both men charged with vandalism and not following police orders. With this case, one of only a handful we've seen with dirt bike and ATV riders getting hauled here into court.
I got a gun.
In August, the Highway Patrol arrested this rider. He faces gun charges. And a rider stopped by Cleveland Heights Police faces drug charges. Suspects in all of these cases pleading not guilty.
Bike ain't going nowhere.
Back to this case, you could hear dirt bikes buzzing as police made arrests. Both candidates for mayor of Cleveland have promised the I-Team they will crack down on these riders and street takeovers. Here, a rider busted for trying to run down a cop and more.
Tried to get away and hit my car.
Again, patrol officers have orders not to stop the bikes. Don't even try. The officers in that video had been taking part in a special detail targeting violent crime.
Yeah, and some of that video is alarming, Ed. You said there are a lot of them pleading not guilty. Any idea of what we can expect to come out of these court cases?
Well, certainly you could see some punishment for some of the gun charges, drug charges, but one guy already taking his case to trial next month.
Wow. All right, we'll see what comes of it.
You bet.
Ed, thanks. RTA has a new member of its police force. Pretty cute too, Joe. This is K9 Officer Nico. He's a 1.5 years old and came to the RTA from Hungary. Nico lives with his handler, Officer Sean Mahone, and the pair is already inseparable. Had a lot of cute dogs on the shows today.
Oh yeah, it's a dog-themed show. Nico, I wish him all the best. Love seeing those police dogs coming in. Don't love seeing this though, Andre, as we take a look outside, those low-hanging gray clouds.
Yeah, you know, it's winter coat weather already, Andre. If the rain wasn't here, it wouldn't be so bad.
I'm going home now.
Yeah. We just have to take our frustrations out on you. On the good days, you get all the love.
You see what I'm going to start with, though?
Okay.
So that's good, because right now we have a lack of color. There's just a lot of different shades of you know, the chroma values are really low. So we're gonna bring them up.
Okay. All right,
let's do it.
Bring them up
right now, because this is the fall foliage season. And it's a little behind, it's a little late, and because of the temperature cool down happened so late in October, the color kind of ramped up real fast. Again, the leaf change color does not happen because of the temperature changes. It happens because of the lack of sunlight. However, temperature can kind of skew it one side or the other by a couple days. It can also brighten up the colors or really make them dull. And so we've got a late peak, which is right now. It's in pockets. It's not really, really stunning, but there are some pockets where it's okay. But just give it about a week and we'll be past peak. However, if you're looking to follow the peak, you're going to have to go into southern Ohio, West Virginia, even into Virginia and in the Smokies. Should be great down there next weekend. We'll still have some pockets of color here, but then as we head towards Thanksgiving Day, the peak goes way down to the south, and believe me, the peak down here is nothing to drive that far south over because you don't have the kinds of deciduous trees that we have here. Bottom line, enjoy. All right, this is the water vapor satellite, and I'm showing this because just over our heads, it's actually dry. This is integrated from the surface all the way up to the top of the atmosphere, but the problem is that we've got some moisture trapped underneath at the low levels, and here it is. At about 1,000 feet up to about 3,000 or 4,000 feet, we've got this cloud layer occasionally getting productive. But if you fly just above that at about 4,000 feet, clear as a bell. But we still have some rain showers. Now the rain showers are starting to fall apart a little bit. We still have that persistent line though, Lake County, Geauga County, Portage County, Point South. So we've got the drizzle, light showers, which are somewhat persistent. Again, we're right on the back edge of this rather vigorous storm center, which right now is producing some really high winds from Boston to New York City. There's the cloud line, and that cloud line is going to save us from the frost advisory, which is impacting western Ohio for tonight. But there's the system. Again, there's just enough of an influence to keep the clouds in here, but high pressure is going to try to eat the cloud deck up tomorrow. You can see some sunny splashes in there, but I'm not impressed with them. So, again, if you have a sunny splash or two, good for you. I think that's about going to be the extent of it. But we anticipate mostly rain-free skies for tomorrow and Thursday. So we have a little window where the atmosphere won't be doing anything before the next weather maker comes in. That's Friday. Low clouds, cool, raw, and there'll be some drizzle and showers, particularly east of Interstate 77. You saw them on radar. Look for an overnight low temperature of 45. Then tomorrow, lots of clouds. Okay, there are the sunny splashes. 57 degrees ought to do it. We'll start with sunshine Thursday, but clouds increase 65. But how often do you see a 100% chance of rain? Not often, 3 days out. This is going to be a sure thing. Look for a rather vigorous system on Friday, and then tapering off Saturday. Sunday will be the better of the 2 weekend days, holding in the 50s. And then Monday, okay. But watch what happens towards Wednesday, Thursday next week. Ooh, big drop in the temperature. 42, potentially cold enough so that some lake effect rain may mix in with those things that are unmentionable.
Right. Yeah, Andre, we were just talking. Where was the transition?
No transition.
Here it is.
Thanks, Andre. Well, could the next step toward a cure be a shot at prevention? Still ahead, groundbreaking research on a breast cancer vaccine from the Cleveland Clinic.
And crucial mistakes in the Brian Laundrie case where investigators admit they messed up and how it likely changed the course of the case.